Hi, I'm Adele Michael, and welcome to Abundance with Adele for November 2020. Really happy that you're here. This started out as a live in-person gathering about 3 years ago, and then with COVID, we've brought it online, and for the last month or so, we've been doing it here on the Facebook Live. So I'm not sure I can see any of your comments live, but if you do want to comment in the comments, please do so, and I will come back and respond to them. And I'll also post the link for the worksheet that I have for you. So, appreciation and support. Yeah, next week is U.S. Thanksgiving, so this month is all about the gratitude that we have for what we have, what we've been through, what we've learned this year. I just saw a post on Facebook that was very dismissive of the year 2020. I won't use the words, but you can imagine. And it was embroidered on this little pillow, and I thought, gosh, I don't feel that way at all about 2020. Yes, it's been hard. Yes, a lot of people have suffered, and a lot of people have died, and it's caused great rifts in our country. I understand all of that, but personally, I feel like I have grown so much, and I've been forced to do things that I never would have done left to my own devices. So, Karen is telling me she's not seeing anything in the Facebook group. I don't know how to troubleshoot that. So I'm just going to keep going, and hopefully you can listen to the recording. And I'm just realizing my shirt is all over the place. Anyway, so I hope this actually works, and and that you can watch it when it's convenient for you. So what is our question? Our question for today is, why do you desire more appreciation and support? To value yourself and your work, and to feel valued by others is my guess. That's what's true for me. So I'm guessing it might be true for you. So we can look at how much do you feel valued by others for yourself and your work. And that's two different things. It's like, wow, for so many women, it feels like we're valued for what we do and for what we give, and then we're not compensated very highly for it. We know that we're underpaid. White women are underpaid more than men, and black and women of color are more underpaid than white women. So we know all of those statistics. So it's not really showing up in the culture that women and their contributions are highly appreciated. And certainly there's not a lot of support for some people, especially if you're a single mother or on the lower end of the economic rung. Life can be really hard. It can be very, very hard. So my goal with this is to help you raise your appreciation and support level for yourself so that shows up more in your experience. So I just heard a quote by Michael Beckwith, the Reverend Michael Beckwith, who is the leader of Agape Nation. It's the Agape Spiritual Center in Los Angeles. You can find it at agapelive.com. And he said, your life is your experience of who you are. Not what you do, when it is that, but it starts with who you are. Not what you desire, but who you are. So that's why the inner work, the belief work, the bringing it home to you work is so important. So let's keep going with that. So Our other desire is to have the support to thrive mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And I like to interchange the word spiritual with energetic because I think they're the same thing. Spiritual has an overlay of divine, source, words like that. And some people do not resonate with that. They have a negative experience with God or with the church. And so to make it more accessible, really, to more people, I like to also call it energetic. So whatever you like, please call it that. So that's our other desire, is to have support to thrive. And the last time I showed this slide, somebody said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to have that car." I was like, "Yeah, I'd like to maybe have that boyfriend." I don't know. But often we feel alone, unappreciated, and unsupported. I know I've been there. I know many of us have been there. So what do we do about that? What is the antidote? Well, the first one that I'd like to bring to your attention is to start with yourself. As I said before, your experience, your life is reflective of who you are. Not your dreams, not your goals, not your lofty ideals, but who you are. Who you are. What you're embodying, what energetically, emotionally, mentally you are embodying right now. And that's why belief work is so important. And also, in the same book where I learned the Michael Beckwith quote, I also learned more scientifically why affirmations don't work. Affirmations don't work. What works is questions. I call them expansive questions. Other people call them lofty questions, but they're basically questions, real questions, not judgments, but real questions about your goals, about your aspirations. So if you started with yourself, one question would be, what do you appreciate about yourself today? What do you appreciate about yourself today? So let's just sit with that for a minute. It might be a little hard to come up with. I noticed before I started doing this kind of work, or when I started doing this kind of work, it was so hard to come up with something. It's like, well, I'm not a six-figure business owner yet, and I don't have a fabulous boyfriend, and I don't have a, blah, 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 all the stuff I thought I was supposed to have. So I had to start really small. And I had to start with, I got up today, I got myself dressed and brushed my teeth. This morning I actually got to a medical appointment on time. Yeah, I knew what day it was. I knew what time it was. That's significant here in the COVID days. And that was how I had to start. I had to start there. So where do you start? Where do you start? So the next question is, what are you overlooking that you could appreciate about yourself? Now, if I could guess who you are, I would guess that you have some strong relationships. You might be caring for a child or an elder. You might be supporting a partner. You might be part of a friend group or a sibling group that you meet with regularly on Zoom, probably, or FaceTime on Google or whatever you do. You know what I mean. Online, maybe not in person. You might be supporting a child who's going to virtual school, or a college student who's having a very unusual experience living on campus and trying to stay safe. Look at your relationships. One of the things that I find really fascinating is that as women, we tend to discount what we contribute to others in support, in mental and emotional and physical support. So I was talking to a friend recently who's married with a child and a dog, and she was saying, gosh, I'm really struggling to get my business started. I really don't feel like I'm being very successful. Oh, but my husband got a raise at work. I'm like, hello, were you preparing meals? Were you making sure that he had the support he needed to do his work, and your daughter had the support she needed to do her schoolwork at home, and the dog, got walked and fed and went to vet appointments when she needed to? Did you contribute to any of that? And I would say, heck yeah. Heck yeah. That's a huge contribution to other people's lives that show up in a raise for one person in the family. And so that really helped her to relax a little bit and stop beating herself up, because her business was not where she wanted it to be, but her domestic life, her family, her home was in a really good place. Can you relate? So another question is, what does your partner or best friend appreciate about you? When I talk to one of my best friends, she knows my warts and all, and we've been friends for over 20 years. And she knows the ins and outs of my journey and my personality, and she's very lovingly reflects that back to me when I get into a ditch. She's like, you've been in this ditch before. Remember the handrails are over there. Go get out of the ditch, because you are not that person who belongs in the ditch. So what would your partner or best friend say about you, appreciate about you? And maybe it's that you might fall into a ditch, but you know how to get out, right? That's a really big skill, I think, because we're human after all. We all get into ditches of our own making sometimes, but ditches. And where or how are you not letting that appreciation in? This is a big deal for us women. Oh no, don't pay me a compliment, because I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to let it in. I'm not going to tell you that I look good in my new dress today. I'm going to tell you, oh, this old thing, I got it at the thrift store. Yeah, we say that stuff. We say that stuff all the time. We've got to cut that out. Got to cut that out and let the appreciation in. Okay? So, where or how are you not letting appreciation in? And that's antidote number 2. Notice where you are resisting, what you are resisting about appreciating yourself or being appreciated by another. So I was telling the story yesterday in a class that I'm teaching called Activate Your Abundance, that I recently saw how I was trained not to appreciate myself. So I have a mother who's 93 now, and we are preparing to get her house, where she has not lived for over 3 years, on the market, and it's hard for her. It's hard for her. She has no control. She's not living there. Her realtor and I are, doing everything we can to get it ready to get on the market. And we made a mistake. My grandmother's chandelier, or it was actually a light fixture for the foyer, it had hung in my grandmother's dining room for umpty years. It hung in my mother's foyer for umpty years. And the designer wanted to change it out to make it look more contemporary, and we had a little facelift on the house because it was 30 years old. And so the designer wanted to take the light fixture out and put a more contemporary one in, and we did not realize that it was my grandmother's and that my mother would be attached to it, emotionally attached to it, which she was. So it went to Habitat for Humanity, to their store, and once Mother realized it had gone, she got upset. The realtor said, I'll go to Habitat and see if I can find it. He went, It's not there. It's gone to a new home. But what I realized from that whole transaction is that her needs were more important than mine. She wanted to be appreciated. She wanted to be the center of attention. And the rest of us in my little family really, we kind of kowtowed to her. So I was trained not to appreciate myself. And I had a very, both my parents actually were very, very bright and very critical. They would ask the why questions. I don't like why questions anymore. It's like, why'd you do that? Like, well, I thought it was a good idea at the time. Obviously, you don't think it was. So anyway, so there's a lot of self-judgment that can block you from appreciating yourself. So that's why it's an inside job, and it has to start with you to undo that training. Antidote 3, again, is ask someone whom you trust. Don't ask a toxic person, please, what she or he appreciates about you, and then let it in. Let it land. Yeah, it might be like maybe like you go to the store and you buy your favorite chocolate bar and you take it home and it's a treat. You treasure it with each little bite. Maybe that's how you take that appreciation in. Maybe you don't do it with in the presence of another person. You let them tell you what they appreciate about you, but you take it home. And you, in the privacy of your own experience, you start to let it in. And that will teach you a lot about receiving appreciation. Okay, let's talk about support. Where could you use some more support? It can be mental, emotional, physical, or energetic / spiritual. Where could you use some more support? It's water that I'm drinking. So is it with domestication? I've noticed that I'm not a good cleaner, but I will clean. And then, like 3 days later, it's dirty again. It's dusty. The dishes, I don't know how this happens. I wash all the dishes, and then there's a sink full again. Like almost immediately. It's like, and it's only me. I can't imagine living with someone else or other someone else's. Wow. So domestication, do you need more help there? Do you need more mental support, like someone who helps you work through a decision that you want to make, or helps you unravel some of the mental habits you may have of self-criticism or self-doubt? I know I depend on my friends a lot for that because they have a different perspective and they're not living in my head. So they're like, oh, I'm not really buying it that you can't do that. I think you can. You just need to figure out how to do it. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I can. Emotional. I think this is really a big one, especially with the pandemic. So many people have gotten so anxious and kind of off kilter with everything that's happened since March. Everything. So, where is the emotional support? And you likely are supporting a lot of other people emotionally. Where is your support coming from? Physical, as I say, the domestication, yeah, and other physical tasks that you have to do. And maybe if you own a business, it's about the technical support you might need. I have several friends who are highly creative, and the technical aspects really are elusive to them. So they get support. They have a virtual assistant who helps them with that, and it's such a godsend. And energetic or spiritual. And this is a favorite one of mine to talk about because sometimes human beings can let us down, but the invisible is always there. I know that to be true, not only through study of of some of the thought leaders like Joe Dispenza and Louise Hay, and some of the other work that I've done in the energetic realms, which actually is my favorite place to play. But the invisible is always there, and we're always interacting with the quantum field. That's another way to express that. If you're into quantum physics, which I am, I don't really understand it, but I think it's very cool. And I know it works because as I've asked for support and I've opened myself up to an answer, it always comes. Never, never in the form I think it's going to come, but it always comes. So I encourage you to become aware of where you can use support, clear any resistance to receiving it. And by that, I mean really work on the mindset of, are you worthy to have support? Or are you in a supportive role all the time? And you know, some people will say that's why some people get sick. Some women get sick because they're always giving and they're never receiving. They're not finishing that loop. If you think of the infinity symbol, they're not finishing the loop. They're always out, 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 out. And so you get depleted and your body gets depleted and it goes into ill health. We don't want that. Release how it's supposed to show up. And what that means is if you think that there's something, if there's some way that it's supposed to show up, like I would like some help with domestication, and you think it's supposed to be your teenager who's supposed to help you clean the house, but it's not. It's something else happens. Maybe you get a Roomba and it sweeps up all the dog hair for you, or lo and behold, your partner says, you know, I think I need to help you with the dishes. I don't know. Or can that become kind of a moving meditation? I mean, that's what I've created for doing the dishes, and I have to hand wash most of the time because I don't have a dishwasher. I have a very tiny kitchen, which suits me fine because I'm not a cook. But and sometimes I get to use the dishwasher in my landlord's cottage, but not all the time. It's not always available. So I do the dishes a lot. And it's become meditative time, or I listen to my Audible book. So, you know, it's a valuable thing to let my mind rest or get new information. And ask for support, be specific, ask often and in multiple places. So what that means is do not expect your partner to mind read. Please just stop. I think if you have a partner and your partner is a man, they do much better with very specific requests. Dear, would you take out the trash tonight? Thank you. And put the bin at the street because the garbage collectors are coming tomorrow. Very specific. Honey, would you please run the dishwasher tonight? Thank you. So we'll have clean dishes, and unload the dishwasher in the morning. So we'll have clean dishes. Thank you. Very specific. It can be something like, well, I know for me, it was a really big deal. I had a hidden dental infection. I didn't know what it was. I got very, very, tired. I didn't get sick. I just got tired. I didn't know what it was. And finally, I just made this demand of spirit. It's like, tell me what this is, or I'm going to have to give up. I'm going to have to leave my apartment. I'm going to have to move home with my mother. This was several years ago. I cannot take care of myself like this. And it evolved that it was a dental infection. I figured out how to take care of it. And all in little teeny steps, little teeny steps. I never gave up. But I kept asking, please help me find the next resource. Please help me, please help me, please help me. And it wasn't a big boom solution. It was a solution over years. But the answers always came. So please ask, please be specific, and please be open to the answer. And how can you allow yourself to have more support? And again, that's kind of an upgrade in self-worth. I am worthy of being supported. How am I worthy of being supported? How much support can I receive? Those are really good questions. And here's the last question. If you allowed yourself to be more supported, what would be possible? If you allowed yourself to be more supported, what would be possible? So, let's see what else is here. And this is kind of a bonus point. If you've not heard of Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages, you might want to check it out. It's definitely at your library, or probably available through ebook, ebook checkout at your library. And it's online at 5lovelanguages.com. And what he's identified is 5 different ways that people like to be appreciated. Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, or physical touch. And you and your partner have probably different ones. I know I don't have a partner, but I asked my brother about it. He said, "Oh, definitely physical touch." So he's married to a woman and they like to hug and snuggle all the time, which is great for him. And he was an athlete. He was a football player. He liked that, that touch. I like words of affirmation. What's yours? Do you like someone to bring you your coffee in bed? I know some people have a spouse that does that. It's so lovely. Do you like gifts? And it doesn't have to be from Tiffany's. It can be just, "Oh, honey, I brought you this little chocolate bar. I thought you might enjoy it." Or quality time. And that might be a little bit easier now with COVID, with the people you live with, but the people that you enjoy spending time with and can't right now, there are probably ways that you have to work around that. But anyway, discover your love language. Tell the people in your life what it is and ask them to appreciate you in that way. So this is your chance to appreciate and ask for support. Again, name one thing that you appreciate about yourself, and think of one specific thing you would like support with that you're going to ask for. Now, I'm going to tell you that asking was not one of my big skill sets. I've told you a little bit about my upbringing and my parents, and their answer was often no. Well, I live in this beautiful apartment, in a beautiful home, on a beautiful lake. I mean, it's just amazing, with beautiful people. My landlord and landlady, John and Barb, are just the greatest people. And I ask for stuff from them all the time. They've just been great trainers for me. It's like, let's see, what did I ask for? Can I use the dishwasher in the cottage tomorrow? I just asked that. Yeah, here, these are the times that would work for me. Let's see, what else? Oh, can I hang out on your dock by the lake while you're away on vacation? Sure, bring your friends, which I did. We would socially distance. It was in the summer. It was great. I also asked for stuff they say no to. Hey, can you take that blank space that's like the steps that don't go anywhere? Can you make that into a closet for me? No, we're not going to do that. We have other plans for that. Okay. They said no, but they say yes a lot more. So as I say, they've been great trainers for me. And if you've ever been a child or have a child or have a grandchild, they don't stop asking. They do not stop asking. And if you won't give it to them, they're going to go ask somebody else for it. We have to redevelop that childlike asking, right? So think about that. So that's our presentation for today. I'd like to ask you to, or to tell you what your abundance practice for the month could be, to appreciate yourself daily, and this will be on your worksheet. Invite trusted, not toxic. Don't go ask that person who's always telling you that you need to upgrade a little bit. Go talk to somebody who knows and loves you. Invite or trusted others to appreciate you. Hey, I could say to my friend, hey, what do you think? What do you think I'm doing well today? What do you think I'm doing well? Let them tell you. Ask for support. Be specific. Ask often and receive. Do not be, what do you call that? It's like when you refuse something. It's like it can't get to you. I used to do that with people who wanted to work with me. It's like, oh, I think somebody else could help you more. No, I want to work with you. Oh, God. So, I mean, I'm just rolling my eyes at myself because I couldn't receive that. I couldn't receive the appreciation and support that that person was offering me. I have gotten over that. Include the invisible, what I like to call the invisible. And if you know the movie, oh gosh, Despicable Me, and its series. It's a series from, I think it's from Pixar, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, it's animated. But these minions, they're all these little minions, and they don't speak English. They are hilarious. But they go and do the master's bidding. They go and do the main character's bidding. And so you have minions too. You can't see them, but you can ask them to bring you the solution and bring you the help that you need. And notice what shifts. That's the big deal. Notice what shifts. So that's it for today, except I'm not sure I have I don't think I put my graphic up here. I have a very pretty graphic about the giveaway. And the giveaway is a book. I love giving away books, and I don't have the picture of it, but I'll put it up in the comments. The book is It's Not Your Money by Tosha Silver. It is really one of my favorite energetic books. She talks a lot about the divine, so if you're not into that, read it anyway if you win it. Well, if you don't win it, you might want to get it. Read it anyway because she talks about how to surrender to what is and stop carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. And I think there are 8 steps that she goes through, including interacting with your inner child, cleaning up clutter, really learning how to surrender to something that's greater than you, whatever you call that, and allowing yourself to be in the flow of life. So it's called It's Not Your Money. And if you would put into the comments these words, I will put you in the drawing, and I will draw on Monday at 5 o'clock. Okay? So the words are, I appreciate myself. I appreciate myself. Put those words into the comments, and you will be entered for a drawing for the book. And I am so glad you were here. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I'll have some announcements. There are going to be some big changes coming up. I'll have some announcements about that. Oh, and I'm having a holiday tarot party on December 16th. And that is, we're going to read, I'm going to read for you Voyager Tarot cards about what you gained in 2020 and what energy you're carrying forward to create in 2021. So I'll put that information up here as well, so you can grab one of the seats. I'm only taking 12 people because I'm going to do readings for everybody, and I want to make sure everybody gets the attention that they deserve. So look for that too. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Thanksgiving, And here's to a good end to 2020. What a year.